Hi, You Can Heal family. So welcome back to another episode of Sharing with Shena. Yesterday, I had to go to the dentist to have a crown put on, and I kind of shared a little bit about this in my Read With Me as I'm reading through the Old Testament, but I wanted to make a video on this episode and talk about what I experienced. So, wanting to share with you how we make assumptions about people sometimes and judgments on them without knowing the whole story. And that's what I did with my dentist. Every time I would go to the dentist, I would feel like she was rushing me. She was very heavy-handed with her tools and like hurting me. And I wouldn't say anything or speak up until the time before yesterday when I had gone to get some work done on the other side of a cracked tooth. And I let her know, you're not going to hurt me today. You're going to be gentle, and if things are hurting, I'm going to ask you to stop. And so we worked it out and made it through a successful appointment. But this particular appointment yesterday, the dentist, as she was doing my teeth, I had my earbuds in listening to an interview, and I could hear her talking to the assistant, but didn't know what they were talking about because I had the earbuds up really loud so I wouldn't have to listen to the drill and all that. But during breaks, she would talk, and she started sharing just out loud how difficult her job is and how tired she is and how her neck hurts and how many procedures she's doing a week. And she was talking to the assistant, but then she started directing the conversation to me. And I'm like, okay. So I'm listening and being understanding. And then she starts sharing about the country she's from, Iran, and everything that's going on over there with the women. And she just started releasing her burdens and saying how tired she is and how it's patient after patient, and she's the only dentist, and just all the things that are concerning her about her life. And when she gets home, she's exhausted to get back up and do it again. And don't we all have that same story? But as I was listening to her, I began to gain insight and understanding, thinking back to all the cleanings I've gone to over the years and just how I've characterized her and how I've put her in this particular category of people based on how she's treated me. But I'm realizing everybody has a story and the reason why they are the way they are. Now, does that mean she should go around being short with people and heavy-handed and rude in her practice? Well, no. But it just let me know that people behave the way they do based on what they're experiencing or what's going on in their life. And if we don't take the time to say, hey, is everything all right? Like, how are you doing? I'm finding that when I come here, I'm experiencing this from you. Is there a reason why? So if I ask those questions early on, perhaps I would have been able to relate to her better and then make some adjustments in the care as she's working on my teeth. So I really just appreciated yesterday her openness and her willingness to let me in on her life a little bit. And, as a result of that, I trust her more with my care. I feel better about going to the dentist because I made a decision to, first on that appointment before last, to let her know how I felt about how I was being treated. And then secondly, to know that she opened up and shared with me a part of her life and what she experiences as a dentist. Because oftentimes when we, the customer or client, go in for a service, we're thinking all about us. It's my turn, I'm in the chair. And of course we want a good experience, but I never looked at it from the side of, what she experiences and goes through. And I think the lesson is just in life, when we're out about and we see people, maybe they have a scowl on their face, or they're short-tempered or rude, or not talking or shying away from things, like, what's really going on? Like, ask, is everything okay? Like, Is there something you need to share? Like, how can I serve in that way and try to understand more? And we as Christians, and even if you're not a believer at this time, but how can we be more compassionate and understanding to what people are going through to help us relate to how they're treating us? And then if we can build some rapport and gain some kind of relationship or trust, then the situation may change. And that's what happened for me. Things turned around on the last 2 visits. So that's really what I wanted to share, like being able to understand what's going on with people, and then that might help us know how to relate to them better, or why they're treating us or behaving the way they do. And it will bring a lot of clarity. I know it has for me. So I trust this little episode of Sharing with Shena has helped you in some way relate to a person perhaps that's in your life now that, you're just finding their behaviors a little off, or their actions or words, but maybe finding it in your heart to understand why, and then be bold enough to open your mouth to express how you feel you're being treated, and perhaps you can come to some understanding and the relationship can change. But we won't know unless we speak up for ourselves, and perhaps it would give the Lord an opportunity for the other person to open up to you, and then you can have that servant's heart that He longs for us to have as believers, because after all, we are little Christ and we are supposed to be like Him. And it just feels a lot better. And I asked her for her forgiveness, and she did. And she had no idea I felt this way. She had no idea that I talked about her behind her back. She really didn't. She really didn't. And I felt convicted in a good way. And the Lord really used the opportunity to build a relationship. And it's not just going to the dentist anymore. The dentist is a person. The dentist is a person just like me, right? And just like you. So have compassion on people. Try to understand why they're behaving a certain way instead of running off at the mouth about them and speaking bad. Let's get down to the real business, right? So we can grow, we can be better people, and also learn a little something about someone else if they're willing to share, and exercise the gifts that God's given us. Amen? So with that being said, I trust that your day is fruitful, that all is well with you, and just continue on with the heart of the Lord. Always remember that true healing begins with self-love. Why? Because God is love, and He lives on the inside of you. We'll talk soon.